Hey, everybody. I know. Everybody's like, man, oh man, we need Suki and Scott back. We need a fix. We need these two back immediately. The world just sucks without them. And here we are. Look who decided to join us. Hey, Sue.
I had to get a cup of tea. How's your Memorial Day?
Give me a sec. I'm sharing. I'm copying. I'm pasting.
You're copying and pasting. Okay, yeah. I had a great Memorial Day. I missed
Did you?
We spoke for a little bit, and then I was like, all right, Scotty, I'm going to be drinking some beers, so I'm going to say goodbye to you.
Did you, you tied one on pretty good?
Yeah, you know what? I was just hanging out, so it was nice because I worked on Saturday, and so, right. So you just don't do much on Sunday. So, so that was good. Hey, Jennifer Stoddard, we're back. Hi, Lisa Lafreniere, Deborah,
Suki, I
Hey.
felt bad. People were writing. We need a Scott and Suki fix. We need a fix.
I love it. Susan Smith says hello. Julie says hello. Rick Johnson, all right, is back from Ozark, Missouri. Should we talk about Ozark and that video at that? What was that? I don't even know where it was. A lake?
No, you know what? That was a boat and yacht club, Sue.
Can I ask you a question? And I really want that guy from Ozark to talk to us.
It was all over. It wasn't just Ozark. You know what I mean? They just happened to be caught on film. There was a bunch of places like that.
Okay, can I ask everybody? Just bear with me. Would you walk into something where people are? I mean, I understand we all want to get back to our lives. We all want to. Well, who doesn't want to party and have a couple of beers? But you can't be that close to people, and nobody had a mask on. I mean, it was just
Suki. It's mayhem. It's craziness. It's all craziness.
Samantha from Arkansas says hello. What a party they had. I guess they did have a great party.
People think it's crazy. I'm telling you, every time I see that, they remind me of the people in Independence Day on top of the building, welcoming the aliens, waiting for that blast of flame to come down.
And I'm not saying like you shouldn't have your freedom. You shouldn't go out there. Your state is open. Go ahead, do what you have to do. But when there's 160 people standing close to you, it just sounds crazy. Hey, Brenda from Lakeland, Florida. Wow. San Antonio, Texas. Paul Lesquadro from
all over the world, Suki, all over the world. Listen, I want to give a special shout out to our guy, Philip Paz, had his new video out over the weekend. Did you see Phil's video?
I did actually. So like Phil Paz, can I ask you, did you read Selena Grant? So we had another person who had a reading by Brenda, and get this, she predicted what happened to me at work today to a T. It was freaky.
There she is, right there. Our girl Selena. Love Selena. What happened? What did she say?
Yeah, that's what I kind of want to know too. I don't know, Scotty. Your wife had a little reading with Brenda. How did that go?
It was so-so. I mean, listen, you talk about readings. I mean, we got the main man coming on tonight, Sue. John Edward.
I cannot believe that, Scotty. You scored big. I almost fell off my chair when you're like, I was like, you got John.
Did you see the lineup for this week, Suki? It's insane. When you have the #1 show on digital media, it's like a knife through butter. We don't even have to try anymore.
It is amazing. It is amazing. They're lining up. Yeah. Scotty, I just okay. From Kansas Lake, Ozarks people now need to stay there for 14 days and not come back to Kansas. That's what Joyce Steen said. So they're quarantining those people that were in that yacht club.
Are they? Yeah. Listen, there were pictures from people on Long Island in a bar. They were packed in. There were people on boardwalk down at Ocean City. They were packed in on the boardwalk. We're never all going to get on the same page.
I know. We're not.
And listen, to me, let's keep the quarantine going. I'm having a great old time. I just had a barbecue dinner with my family, little steak, little potatoes. I love it. My wife's taking a walk with the kids. I'm in a toy store somewhere doing this show. I don't even know where I am anymore. I mean, if you need a toy, I'm selling toys out of the trunk.
But I gotta say, your signal is looking really good. Really good, Scotty.
So can I tell you a real quick story? It took me a month to get somebody from Altice One Cable, a live person on the phone. So today, I finally got a woman who answers the phone, right? And let's say her name was Sarah because I forgot what it was.
Thank you, Sarah from Altice One.
I said, Sarah, congratulations. We're going to celebrate the two of us. You're the first person I've spoken to. We're talking. She's going through my Wi-Fi, the whole deal. She says, I'm going to bump you up to 400 megabytes per second with a free upgrade. As soon as she said free upgrade, I lost her on the phone, Sue.
Oh, no.
She hung up on me. I thought,
she said,
you got to be kidding me. And I lost her. I called back. I had to go through the whole rigmarole again. And then another guy finally came on, threw in Cinemax Soup with the upgrade. So now I'm flying. I'm flying in Wi-Fi. The beams are coming off my brain. I got so much Wi-Fi in the house.
Listen, put Selena Grant up because she just shared her story about what Brenda predicted.
Here we go. Let's see. Selena. Wrong one.
Donna loved you.
So fast. She predicted this 3 weeks ago. They put up with this general manager for a year and his BS. That's not going to happen. Then one after the other, she was right. Okay. Sounds good.
So did they make you like a general manager?
I don't know. Selena, are you a general manager now?
Now, are you did you get a promotion? Or did she just predict that this guy was going to be out?
Yeah, my God. By the way, Suk, I caught a little bit of your show on Sunday night.
I think it was the best show ever on Find Love Live. I'm just going to say that.
The first girl you had on, Jet, was her name?
With great energy. Scotty, she used to watch us on TV.
So can't you hook a brother up?
She was cute, right? She was cute. She was like, you're my news person every morning. I was like, I'm so happy to have you as a wing person. I was like, So it was good. It was really good. She gave me a lot of energy. In fact, everybody gave her a lot of energy. Yeah. Lori Kiefer said, OMG Suki, tell John Edwards what? Michael Kiefer's sister is watching. He has connected with Michael so many times. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm sure a lot of folks want to. We'll see how John's feeling.
Lauren,
tonight.
I got you.
I can't promise you that John does any readings for even us tonight, Suk. He's got to see how he feels. We're going to talk about his career and how he got to be where he is. And hopefully we can convince him a little bit. We got my main man, Jay Horwitz, coming up. New York Mets, 40 years PR guru, Suk. Whether you are a sports fan or not, or a New York fan,
you know him.
You not only do you know him, but Jay has got the best stories about sports personalities that So he's got a new book out called Mr. Met. Jay's going to come on with us a little bit. We got a big show. We got a big week. Tony Orlando's coming up this week.
Tie a yellow ribbon around
because I've got to know what is and isn't mine. I love Tony.
And I was so happy when you posted that video that you took when you were in the studio where you're getting dressed. That one makes me laugh every time.
Tony Orlando, what are you doing here?
That makes me laugh.
So funny, right? Tomorrow night we have an amazing magician from America's Got Talent. We've got Drew McIntyre, the WWE champion. The women love this guy.
Yeah,
funny as heck.
Big personality.
And Thursday night with Tony, we got Daryl Strawberry, who everybody knows. Great stories from Straw. And Friday I have this a woman comedian who's coming on. We'll probably find somebody else by then. we'll find something by then, right?
Yes. Scotty, Selena's doing the second part of her story with Brenda. I feel like we're involved in this episodic.
Oh, we got to finish.
I know. I feel like we gotta end this conversation.
Where is she? Brenda told me the general manager, no longer the general manager, she assistant. Step up. Oh, okay. It happened today. He'd be sort of equal in our position with her, with the general manager. So
wow, good for her.
She's good. So, ladies and gentlemen, our first guest has arrived. Of course, John Edwards, psychic medium, coming up just a little bit. But our first guest has a new book out, Suk.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something. When it comes to teams and PR,
he is
pop it up. This fella right here
knows everybody.
Knows everybody, everything. He's been with the Mets for 40 years. 40 years, Suki. You don't stay with anybody for 40 years.
40 years, yeah.
Let alone a sports team. Jay has he started in 1980. He's seen it all. Going to bring him in right now. There he is. Jay, you got to turn your phone sideways.
Sideways?
Yeah, turn it sideways.
Is that better?
Perfect.
There you go, bud. We can see you better.
I'm not very mechanical, Scott. I apologize.
You look good. You look good. You're getting there.
Adequate at best.
How are you, my friend?
Congratulations on the book, Jay.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much. Thank you very much.
Jay, move your phone over a little bit so we can see more of your handsome face. I want to see more of you.
Which way am I moving? Is that better?
I want to get you in the middle.
All right. How's that? Which way I'm moving? The wrong way?
I want you to. You need to go to your move. We need to see more of your right side.
So should I go to my left or my right?
I don't know. Stage left. Nope. Stage right.
I can't. How's that?
There you go. All right, Jay, keep it right there. That's fine.
Oh, okay.
So, Jay, listen, you hit 40 years with the Mets. That's unbelievable, my man.
Yeah, I've been really fortunate to be in the same place. I started April 1st, 1980. Got lost on my first day going to Shea Stadium, and somehow I survived here. I've been to my 41st season. I'm really grateful to be here that long.
And they kept you because now he's doing alumni relations now too. So you're transitioning from one thing into another thing.
I'm an older PR guy taking care of the older players now. I work with all these guys: Dwight Gooden, Darryl Strawberry, Keith Hernandez, Ron Darling. You're all my guys. You're my guys back in the 80s, and you're still my guys now.
Suk, his story's amazing. So, Jay, listen, 1980, you're at Fairleigh Dickinson, right? A sports information.
Yes,
and you go for an interview with the Mets, and I understand that didn't go so well, right?
Probably the worst interview in the history of interviews, Scott. I went to the wrong hotel. Got to the hotel. I was nervous. Frank Cashin, the GM at the time, was sitting in his little white tennis shorts, knocked over a huge container of orange juice over his lap. And the interview lasted about 5 minutes. I remember going back to the airport, said to my late mom, I said, "Mom, there's no way I got this job, but somehow 40 years later, I'm still here."
Oh, my God. So wait, you spilled orange juice over Cashin's lap?
I knocked over a huge container of Tropicana orange juice with the pit, Scott. And it fell all over him, and he wasn't really happy, to be honest with you.
But you know what? Can I tell you something, Jay? You know, there's a quote by John Franco in the book that says, if the boys don't like you, they wouldn't screw with you. So obviously they liked you.
Then.
They loved you from the get-go.
From the get-go. Every time I could write a whole book out of jokes that Johnny Franco played on me, to be honest with me. You know.
Give me a joke.
Yeah, give us one with Franco.
The one with the clean joke. We're in the Biltmore Hotel in Los Angeles. Johnny unscrewed a horse head from the lobby, brought it up to my room, put ketchup on my pillow, shut off my lights, put the bed under my pillow. I walked into my room. I thought he was going to have a heart attack. I thought I had a dead horse in my bed. From The Godfather. No less.
From The Godfather, yeah. A scene from The Godfather.
I love it. I love it. That's so he where'd he get the horse head from? Down in the lobby, you said?
Yeah. The lobby.
He unscrewed it and put it into the bed.
I think I lost you, Scott. Did I do something wrong?
Say that again, Jay?
I think did I lose you or am I still there?
Oh, no, you're there. I have your book. I have the cover of your book up full.
Thank you. I
want people to see the book. So,
that picture was taken about 30 years ago. That's why I look so good.
I like that, Jay.
40 years. And listen, Jay, one of my favorite, times as growing up as a Met fan, obviously 1986. I'm in college. The Mets are playing the Astros in that, 17-inning game.
Yeah, 16-inning game in Houston. Yes.
Yeah, in Houston. I'm actually in one of my classes with headphones on. That team with Lenny Dykstra and Strawberry and Gooden and all those guys. I mean, that had to be so much fun to be around that team, which had 15 different insane personalities.
Yeah, different personalities, but we blended together. Let's put it this way: they kept me busy going to work every day. I never knew what to expect when I got to Shea Stadium. It was a little excitement, but you know what? They won together. The team, they hated us in the National League because we fought with other teams. We were very cocky. Started with our manager, Davey Johnson, was very cocky. And, we came back, two outs, 2 strikes, 1 left, and we won the game, won the World Series, and had a nice parade.
It was But you know what? Can I tell you, after like really what I think was, and you mentioned this in the book also, one of your real moments where you felt like everything came together in media relations was after 9/11, after Piazza hit that home run, and everything you guys did leading up to that with Tuesday's Children, you know, all of these little moments that kind of encapsulated what you did for the community and bringing the Mets organization full circle. It was beautiful.
And it was, you know, from the ownership down, from the Will Ponce to Bobby Valentine to the players, you know, Mike and Al Leiter, John Franco, Todd Zeal, Robert Ventura. We had a team that really knew how to react in a time like that. And they were a great bunch of guys and never said no to anything. They knew what they had to do and they got it. And that was probably my proudest moment, being a part of that, what we did for the city back in 9/11.
And it was so pivotal for the city. It was like a moment for us to all breathe finally.
Yeah. And Mike, after the game, the guys signed autographs about a half hour for the firemen and the policemen in the dugout. It was really Mike's homer was great. It was so much more than that than a home run, you know, and we're really just proud. It was a real proud time for me to be a part of that.
Jay, you know, when you started with the team, did you know one day you wanted to write a book? I mean, how'd you write this book? Did you keep notes at how you remembered all this stuff?
No, you know what? I really wasn't going to write a book. And listen, I've always been able to laugh at myself, make fun of myself. And I said, I'm near the end of my career, so why not put it down, make some people laugh, and have some fun? And you know, the other thing I wanted to mention, Scott, I wanted to pay tribute to Shannon Ford, who worked with me for 22 years. Passed away from cancer. Very courageous lady, left 2 young kids, and she really gave her all to the Mets. And you know, part of doing this book was her legacy, so it wouldn't be forgotten.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, no, Shannon was great, and yeah, that was just such a sad time. You know, even as members of the media, because we all knew who Shannon was.
We all put a call in and talked to her in some capacity.
Yeah. And 9 major league teams held the moment of silence for her when she died in March of 2016. This is a pretty good testament to what she did in her life.
And wasn't there a field in Little Ferry, New Jersey, dedicated?
Yeah, Ford Field. MLB built it. It's about 2 blocks from where she lived, 2 blocks where her parents lived. So every day her parents could go by and see the field, and you know, kids in the colleges from the area playing on that field. So it's a great testimony to her.
Beautiful.
Jay, how could people get a hold of this book?
Well, I'm selling right in front of my house. If you want to come by,
give us an address.
Yeah, it's 42 Main Street. No, it's on Amazon or Barnes and Nobles. You can get it online.
Jay, the whole time you were doing PR, dealing with you know, all of us guys, and obviously guys way before I came along, and Bruce Beck, and you know, all the guys who are around today. Was it always fun for you dealing with us idiots, or was there a time?
I like to challenge. Every day wasn't the same. You never knew what I was never a desk person, and I consider myself a people person. I like to interact with the guys, and I was fortunate. You know, people think I'm crazy, but I can't think of a player I disliked in my 40 years with the Mets, and I'm not blowing smoke. I just was fortunate to work with a good group of guys, and you know, Joe Torre was my first manager, Terry Collins was my last manager, Willie Randolph, Bobby Valentine, all good friends. I've been blessed, guys.
Do you have anyone secretly who's your favorite? Like, who's your, like, you know, that you just had this special bond that was just...
Well, it's hard. It's really hard for me to say, from Johnny Franco to Mookie Wilson to David Wright to the late Gary Carter. I mean, we really were a great group of guys. I don't like to pick one guy, you know, but there's a lot of 1s and 1As.
You seem, Jay, it seems like in the position that you were with the Mets, leading them through so many hurdles, so many trials and tribulations, even when the players weren't behaving. What was there a moment that you regret? Was there a moment that you wish you could have changed a little bit, reframed for the public so they would understand a little bit more?
Well, probably my biggest mistake that I did was the way I handled Darryl and Dwight when they came up. They're both, you know, young kids, and we said yes to too many things. Probably didn't protect them enough. And you know, Darryl came up in '83. We were a really bad team, and there was no Keith or Gary, anybody there. It just wasn't protective enough. I learned in business, you got to strike a balance with saying yes to this stuff and be protective of the players. I think through the years I've learned you got to really just strike the balance in doing that.
Jay, try and move your phone over again. I'm losing half your face. There you go.
Better?
Yeah,
there
better.
Much
Jay,
better.
I feel like I'm talking to my father on his.
I didn't get a degree in mechanical engineering. I apologize.
I feel like I'm talking to Mr. G on this thing. That's how he used to FaceTime
Is
me.
that better?
Look, no, you had it good right there.
That's
There
good.
you go.
Yeah,
There you go. Jay, a question for you is, and I know, I've had Dwight on many times. I've spoken to Daryl many times. And Dwight always tells the story about how after they won the World Series and they had the parade, and Dwight was actually, he had a little too much fun the night before, and it was Daryl who went to his house, right, to try and find him, to get him to the parade. Dwight misses the parade. As the PR guy at that time, are you just like, holy Christ, what am I supposed to do with this?
I must have called Doc about 500 times that morning. He never answered the phone. But you know what? They really come a long way. Daryl and his wife are ministers. Dwight does a lot of good work with schools and hospitals, and they both really turn themselves around. In my religion, you're menches, Scott. Menches. Good people.
Menches on benches. Well, listen,
Yes,
Jay,
sir.
I want to bring up the book one more time. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. The book is called Mr. Met: How a Sports Mad Kid from New Jersey Became Like Family to Generations of Big Leaguers. And you got DeGrom to do the forward, huh?
Yes, he did. He's they wanted so I could appeal to the younger guys. I'm only like 50 years older than Jacob, so I appeal to him.
Can I tell you something? I'm glad you did this because I'm not a fellow member of the tribe, but I do know that what you did was a good mitzvah. Because
thank you very much.
Shalom,
as we say in my religion.
Nicely said.
Shalom.
Because you were witness to a very special time, and the fact that you were able to just pay tribute to all of those people behind the scenes that make it really happen. Like you were saying, telling Shannon's story so it's encapsulated for her children, to really share all of those, those behind the scenes stories that we as sports fans are just like, we're chomping at the bit. We want to know a little bit more, from our heroes.
I appreciate, I never wanted to do a tell-all book. I want to do a feel-good book, and hopefully some people get a laugh about it and, have some fun with it, especially in these crazy times.
And Jay, listen, before you go, do we see baseball here this summer, or what's?
I hope so. I think if they have to figure something out, they really, both sides have to, and I really think they will.
All right, that's good.
Hey, Horwitz, ladies and gentlemen, Jay, the best, pal.
So I could get on my head. It's a big head too.
By the way, Jay, my whole family, huge Mets fans, just so you know.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Okay.
Jay, thank you, my friend.
Guys. I appreciate it.
Right.
Thank you, Jay.
Buddy. Go get the book, Mr. Met. Great stories in there, Suk. And he is just, you talk about a legend in Major League Baseball. The guy's a friggin' legend.
And he's so cute, isn't he, with that phone? Like, am I looking all right? Where am I looking, Scotty? Where am I looking?
Listen, Suk, there were guys, right, when I was covering New York teams, like you had guys at the Yankees, like Rick Cerrone, Rick Cerrone, who was the PR guy there.
Great guy.
Not the catcher, but the PR guy, Rick Cerrone. And Rick was like a larger than life character. He was almost a character as much as the players. He'd walk around with the cigar, real, always with the fancy suit. Jay is like the most unassuming guy. Right? Hey, Jay, listen, I'm going on at 6:00. I need a guest. Can you give me Mike Piazza? Yeah. Just Scott, I'll take care of you. Just let me know what time.
Boom, there it is.
Sure enough, when you were standing there ready to do your live shot, this guy he'd walk the player out. He was there, always got it done. A lot of guys get pissed off as PR guys who are supposed to be doing that for you. They look at it as a pain in the butt. And Jay was always, Scott, I'll do my best. And whenever Jay would call and say, hey, can you guys cover something for me? You do it for him, right? Because a little one hand washes the other. So there you go, Mr. Met. And Jay was the one who actually, he helped us out getting Darryl Strawberry for Thursday. Straw, another larger than life character. So that's coming up on Thursday. We got John Edward coming up in just a little bit. So I got a great video to show you that I saw over the weekend.
Okay.
You're going to be like, this guy is out of his mind.
I want to see it.
Hold on. I'm going to put it up for you. I'm going to play it. And here, watch this. This guy with a snake. Watch this.
Oh, gosh.
Just watch the way he handles this snake.
Is that a cobra?
Yep.
Gee whiz. Oh my gosh. I don't think I would.
Is that insane? Not only that, he's sitting there with all the soldiers are like, holy cow, look at this guy.
I would not go near a king cobra. Those things could just shoot it out, and the fangs and.
Oh my God.
Kieran. People, did you see what happened to Kieran?
What happened to Kieran? What did he do?
Kieran.
There he is in the background making his first appearance post Memorial Day.
No one's seen you yet. So he fell. He was skateboarding. My son fell. Road rash. His first experience at road rash.
That's the worst.
He's lucky, you know. So it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Say hi to everybody, Eric.
Eric, where are you, bud? Come on, what's happening?
You're supposed to be sweeping, Eric.
Yeah, dude.
Please.
You can't make an appearance without a broom or a Swiffer.
We need Swiffer to like give us advertising. And now this is brought to you by Swiffer.
In the mail.
Sook, so we had Jay Horwitz on, Mr. Met, everybody. I told you, even the folks from around the country loving Jay Horwitz. How can you not love this guy? And I want to bring in our next guest who is just joining us right now because the folks are lining up here like crazy. John Edward. Listen, when you talk about psychic mediums, Sue, he's the first guy who comes to mind, right? First guy.
He is the only guy that comes to my mind, actually.
So there he is, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. John Edward.
John Edward, hey. How are you?
Can't hear you guys.
Oh, no, you can't hear us? Let's see if we can work this. John, we can hear you.
He might have to sign in and sign out for. Yeah. You might need to text him.
He looks good. He sounds good.
He looks good. He sounds good.
Speak, John. Speak.
1 2 1 2 1 2.
Can't hear you. He's good. He's good.
We hear you. Can you hear me though?
Yes.
Yeah, you don't hear us.
Watch this. Watch the sign like John. Break and do it again.
There we go.
Do it. Oh, you got us?
I can hear you, but not through my headset.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, fine.
We're good.
John Edward, ladies and gentlemen.
John, we're going to start doing sign language. Log out and come back in.
Great. Come back in. John, listen, the women from all over the country, just all over the timeline here, they can't wait for you to get on today.
Well, I'm excited to be here. I'm happy you guys can hear me and see me, and I love the toys behind you.
Listen, I'm literally sitting in FAO Schwartz basement, but
I love it.
I wanted a little more color.
What would Room Raider give this? I'm not really sure, though.
Hallelujah, we're hoarding. My kids don't even use any of these games anymore, John. It's just for show.
Very cool. Thank you guys for having me.
Oh, listen, man, it's a pleasure. You know, I saw something about you online. I said to Suki, I think my wife got an email, newsletter type of thing, and I said, Suki, we got to get John on because we've had psychic mediums on before. And it was just everybody was just so enthralled in what was going on. And I remember you and I met back at Scott Shannon's house. I think Suki, you met for some.
I think I've interviewed you like 3 or 4 times at Pix 11. Yeah, and every time it's just been you are a rock star in your own right. I mean, you inhabit your own universe. I mean, it's just like it's your space, John.
Well, I don't know about that, but I've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
It's been a journey, and it's funny. I think we're it doesn't matter how long you do what you do. We're now all learning how we do what we do in a new perspective, new world, and we're adapting and we're evolving, and we're trying to kind of understand how to reach out and connect with people differently. So this is a journey for me with what I do.
Well, how has it changed? Like, talk about that whole evolution process for you now, because we know we've had to change our medium. Now Scotty and I are, trying to help people. This all started as like, you know what? Let's do something to help.
Yeah, let's entertain.
Yeah, let's just laugh and let's lighten the mood, because most people are joining us. We just finished the news at 6:30. It's starting on at 7, and Scotty and I were feeling heavy, and we're like, let's lighten the mood. Let's just make people feel comfortable again.
No politics, no virus.
Let's just talk about community and talk about us as a family.
That's important. So for me, I left conventional television, I think it was in 2009, and I wanted to do more of teaching. I wanted to get people to evolve. So I created an online community, and it was called Evolve. And I've been doing that now since then. So I've been in the virtual space for over a decade. When people didn't think it was like something that people would do, they were like, why are you doing that? Like, why would you do TV? Like, why would you not do this? I said, well, I want to teach more. So I kind of feel like I had a decade head start going into doing this type of stuff.
Yeah, you did.
And it's been kind of cool, because I haven't had that big of an adaptation when it comes to the interviews and the talking and the teaching and, doing one-on-one readings for people. We've done that, in the studio like this for, like I said, for a decade. The interesting thing has been to take my clients that would normally be over the phone, and now they're over Zoom. Or I'm doing, what you guys are doing here, but to have like 50 people in front of you on a screen, and that becomes the audience, and now you're answering their questions and interacting. And it felt a little bit cold for me in the beginning. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna like this. And then within like a few days, all of a sudden, everybody clicked. And I think that's the thing. Like, as a community, when we come together, if we click on the same frequency, then we get the opportunity to go, okay, this is how it's working. This is how we can communicate. This is how we can do it. I go, and then this is how we evolve. So it's been going really, really well. It's been kind of cool.
Yeah, John, listen, I was reading a little bit about how you got started with this, and just tell us real quick. I know you were very young. You actually went to a psychic medium, and she told you were going to do this.
You're the gift, yeah.
Yeah, she did. Her name is Lydia Clark, and she came to my grandmother's house. I was 15, and my mom and my grandmother had always had psychics come to the house, and they had always, done card readings and seances and stuff. My dad was a New York City police officer, career military guy, not a fan of the subject matter. So I was not allowed to be around any of it.
He was too pragmatic, right? Yeah,
No, he just thought my mother was crazy, to be honest. He was like, I don't want my son around that. So the rule was, if they were doing any of that stuff, we'll call it, I had to be out of the house. Well, then my mom and dad split. I wound up moving into my grandmother's house, where I called it the paranormal hub. And one of the women that came to do readings, she's amazing. And one of the things that I did was I was trying to debunk everybody that came out of the room. So I was the person that was going through all their readings going, yeah, no, that's this and that's that. Until I got to, a couple of people, I was like, well, she wouldn't know. I don't know how she would know that. And then they talked me into going. And when I went, I said, well, I'm not going to help her like the rest of you. I said, I'm not going to give her anything. I'm just going to sit there. And that's what I did. Right. And she told me that I had disability, and she gave me information that was extremely accurate, that only somebody who was with me could have known. So she got my attention. She predicted things that happened relatively quickly. Some of it was completely off the wall. And she told me I had disability. And as a result, I wanted to learn. And I say this openly. I didn't have this reading and go, I'm psychic.
Yeah.
I had this reading and felt completely violated. I felt like this woman walked around my life in a way that was not cool. So it's kind of like having your house robbed. If you have your house robbed, you now want to put a security system in. So my goal was to learn, how do I make sure nobody ever could do this again? Right. And by doing that, by researching the subject matter, I started to go, well, this isn't psychic. This is normal. This is not psychic. It's common sense. This isn't psychic. So there were things that were psychic that I didn't realize were psychic. And that was my journey. And then I picked up a deck of tarot cards, and the rest was history.
And when you say you have and Suk, it's crazy, because we'll put 3 people on screen at once, and it seems busy. But when you have 50 people on a screen at once, do you have to warm up to this thing, or do you just you bingo and you're in it and you're running? Yeah,
it's pretty much that. And I'll tell you that a lot of my career has been baptism by fire. I went to Australia on a tour. And I never really asked how many people were going to be in the rooms until we got closer to the events. And the first time I went there, it was an arena tour. So I was like, I'm sorry, what does that mean? And they were like, oh, it's an arena tour. There's going to be like 7,000 people in the room. And I was like,
Oh,
7,000 people? I'm like, what the hell am I going to do with 7,000 people? Like, that's all I can think about. You know, and one of my friends was like, oh, it must be amazing to walk out in front of the crowd. I'm like, amazing? How about the pressure of how is this going to work? Like, how do I educate 6,999 people while I'm reading the other one, right? Why would they care? And what I learned was it didn't matter if there was 7,000, 9,000, 10,000 people, because they, as a community, they were all participating in it. So the same thing is true with 10 people. If you got 10 people or 50 people, they come together as a community, and the overlapping is insane. To see the connections, it's amazing.
Mean connections between the people that are in the room? Really?
Yeah. I had one woman whose dad. Now my background is also in healthcare, so I worked in hospitals, and so I have a really good working understanding of like different areas of hospitals. So they'll show me if somebody had a pulmonary disorder, I'll see the respiratory section of a hospital. Wow. So this woman's dad came through and he showed me the respiratory section, and I said, "Your dad's telling me he had like an obscure respiratory disease, not like lung cancer, but something." And she goes, "Yeah, he had a very, very rare," and I did not know what it was. ABCDE, whatever disease. And then the woman who was in the box right above her unmuted herself and said, "I'm sorry, did you say your dad had XYZ?" And she goes, "Yeah." She's like, "My mom passed from that." And it's really rare, like one in however many thousands would get it. And these people from different places of the country were on the same call.
So can I ask you a question? Is it something about, you know, when people reach out to you and like those connections are made on a call, do you already feel like it's a divine process that has happened that's bringing those people to you at that time so you can connect them?
Yep. And I feel that way even when it's like when it's a live event. As soon as I would start a live event, I would say to folks, guys, there's a reason why you're at this event tonight and not next month's or tomorrow night's. It's because the people that are coming to this event are going to have a shared experience with you. And it's amazing to see when some people bring through other people's families, and it's kind of cool. You know, it's crazy.
It's funny. Many years ago when I was a kid, my brother and I were playing around with his camera. We were doing like a local cable show, and we go around to local businesses and just shoot like, you know, little 1-minute stand-ups, really when I was still probably in college, right? We went to a catering hall one day and we ran into who else but Gene Dixon.
Oh.
You know Gene Dixon?
Yeah, astrologer.
And you know, I always remember Gene Dixon from Star Magazine, and I remember she said she told President Kennedy not to go to Dallas.
She did
all that, and I did an interview with her. You know, Scott Stanford with his, I don't even know what microphone I had, or just into my brother's camcorder. And she said she told me one day I was going to sign a huge contract as a broadcaster.
And you did.
Huge contract. And I don't know if I did that yet or not. But I'm still waiting. I'm still holding on to Gene Dick. I know she's passed a long time ago, but I'm still holding on to that.
That's cool. You should. That's a really great.
I'll never forget that. She told me you're going to sign a big contract.
That's so cool.
You know, but can I also tell you something? I remember post 9/11. You froze. You're back. You're back. You're freezing.
I'm
Scott.
here. Everybody's still. We're back. Whoa.
I remember post 9/11, you were around a lot to help a lot of the FTNY, the NYPD families, and there was one family in particular that I became very close with that you helped out a lot, and it was Lauren Kiefer. I don't know if you remember them. You connected with her brother Michael. They're one of 3 from Long Island. And she was, you know, I mean, this family has been, you know, I love them very much. And
awesome. I love their mom. Pat is amazing. She's a powerhouse. She's an amazing woman. And I tell people when I talk about that family all around the world, I say that this woman is so balls to the wall honest.
She is.
I love that because it's like, I'll never forget. She said that somebody asked her, you know, Pat, how you doing?
Yeah.
And she goes, well, there's the me before 9/11 and there's the me after 9/11. So it's such a real way of dealing with grief. But yeah, I my son's middle name is Michael because of him.
Wow.
Him and another young boy that came through, both named Michael. That's why my son's middle name is Michael.
Stop. Oh my God, that just gave me chills.
John, when you're like sitting here with Suki and I on a broadcast like this, do you have to zone in on one of us, or do you get vibes and things from us just from sitting here?
Well, it depends. If I'm doing like just an interview, then I'm like powered down. Like I don't peak. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like I don't do that. And before I read, I do a whole meditation to protect my energy, to make sure that I'm open and that I can actually kind of connect. But otherwise, if I'm not, I don't really walk around on all the time. So for me, it's like I keep myself powered down. So I'm never not psychic, but it's like I'm not always actively on. I think it's important when you do this type of work to be more off than on. It's like a cell phone. If it's constantly not plugged in, and if it's like always being used, then you miss out on the opportunity of working to full capacity.
Got you. Okay.
So like I'm not walking through the supermarkets, like, you know,
like everything is in high frequency and you're just, I was wondering about that. How, because when you are gifted, you know, things come at you, you know,
choice. It's like, it is a choice. So like when somebody says like, oh, they're, you know, they can't turn it off or they're so psychic, I'm like, that's not really accurate. That's a decision. Like, like there's a lot of stuff. Like I got nothing about the pandemic. Like there was no heads up. There was no like psychic flashes, you know. Right. Like I had two things that took place where I booked myself a year out in advance. So I was talking to someone in my office and I was like, are we doing events in March and April? And she kept saying, yeah, why? I'm like, are they not on sale? And she's like, no, they're like almost sold out. I'm like, oh, I didn't see me doing them.
Right.
So I went to the place of, crap, there might be something wrong with me. Like I might get sick. Like something might happen. Like, am I having surgery? So I go to the place of trying to like deduce, like, why would I not be going? So I automatically took it as a given. I saw that I wasn't going. Now I just need to figure out, why am I not going? Right. But I didn't get an answer to that, but I knew that I wasn't doing them.
Interesting.
Wild. Can
I ask you a question?
Funny.
Do you see us getting out of this? Because that's my hope, that we're able to re-enter whatever this new world is and move forward in a healthy manner for all of us. You know what I mean?
I think we got a ways to go.
Yeah.
So, you know, I kind of held back in February a little bit, and I was like, you know, I don't know, maybe like, you know, there'll be a shift in June, and I do think that there will be a shift in June.
There'll be a shift. Yeah, right.
That shift might be the connection that, you know, people are getting out more. Doesn't mean that it's going to go away. I will tell you that I think that there will be aspects of a second or other ancillary things that come from that. I'm also going to tell you that I think 10, 15 years from now, the way people could have chicken pox, you can get shingles later on. I think there's going to be an ancillary aspect of this in some way. So I don't think it's just like, you know, it's not just the flu. So I think we have a good, you're not going to want my answer, but I think we have a good 18 to 24 months more of having to adapt our lives and live differently and recognize things in a way that maybe are going to have to be like by choice. So for example, I have said to my kids, I don't like being around people who smoke. I'm not an avid drinker. I don't do drugs. So I don't stop people from doing that, but I selectively don't put myself in the environment where I might find myself there. So I'll feel the same way when it comes to, you know, being around people who are not wearing masks. We're not social distancing, or I'll do what I can. I mean, I can only be responsible for driving my car. I can't be responsible for driving somebody else's.
Yeah.
John, we have this young lady, Maureen Green from Melbourne, Australia, says she lost her mom. I love when they say mom. 2 years ago. Just want to let you know your books were a godsend to me. I know she visits me, and thanks to you, I can recognize it. And no, I guess that says, no, I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Well, thank you. That's pretty cool, Maureen. I appreciate that. Melbourne is actually one of my favorite places. Australia actually is like my soul home. Like if I could live there, I think I would.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I'd love to get there one of these days.
You know, is it interesting? Like, do you think most people have sixth senses? Like they know what's intrinsically, but they haven't opened themselves up to it? Because really there are moments where I'm like, I feel like I've been here before. I'm feeling, you know, like good about this right now. And you know, I'm curious, is it something that you don't recognize, or you know, it's like you dreamt of? I don't know what it is, but I've been there a couple of times where I'm like, wow, this feels like a good space. And then I've been there where I'm like, this doesn't feel like a good space. And I feel like I've been here before.
Trust your gut.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, trust your gut. My wife used to run a dance competition, a ballroom dance competition.
Yeah.
And it was actually held at the Marriott World Trade Center.
Wow.
And in August of 2001,
wow.
while the competition's going on. And if you see like any ballroom competitions, they're amazing. They're loud and music. It's like Dancing with the Stars, right?
Yeah.
For a week, like 4 or 5 days.
Right.
So we're down there on and off for a while. And my phone rang and I couldn't hear. So I walked into the lobby of the World Trade Center. And after I took the call, I flipped it over. I flipped up my mobile StarTAC. I flipped it down. And then all of a sudden, like the energy in the lobby of where I was standing was so bad.
Wow.
It literally made me feel so uncomfortable. And I was like, what happened here? Like what, like it was already coming. Like the energy of it was like, now I didn't know what it was, but I literally walked out of the lobby into the ballroom and I pulled my wife aside and said, how long was the contract with this hotel? And she's like, why? I go, you got to move it. I go, you can't have it here. And she's like, why? I go, not good energy. I go, I'm not getting a good vibe here. And she looked at me, she goes, well, I can't just move it.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't have the choice after that.
Yeah.
Right? But like that energy is something that I sense. And I always tell people, pay attention to your gut feeling. Like if something doesn't feel right, like here's like a really practical thing.
Yeah.
Coming into summer, barbecues, backyard barbecues, families. Oh, it's okay. We're going to social distance. We're going to this, we're going to that. Mm-hmm. If you don't feel like good about that,
don't do it.
Don't go. Just don't go. Again, you know what you can control. And if you can't control people's actions, don't put yourself in a position that's going to make you uncomfortable or sick.
Some of the Debbie Hollinger wanted to know is, are you going to put out a new book during this time? Are you thinking about creating and putting out a new book?
No.
I'm
so lazy. It's not even funny when it comes to writing. It took me like 3 years to get a newsletter out. Seriously, it was a big joke. Like I would go around and seminars and people would ask their questions and they'd be like, newsletter? You're going to send out another newsletter? And I was like,
John, it's funny because my wife was with me when we met you back at Scott Shannon's party that time. Naomi DiClemente, good friend of mine and yours. But my wife, you got to get John Edward. I need him to do a reading for me. I need him to do a reading. If people want to get a personal reading from you, how do they go about doing that?
Everything I'm doing is on johnedward.net. So it's johnedwardnos.net. Like literally, that's my hub. It's been my hub for years. So like groups or a one-on-one or anything about the Evolve community or the newsletter, all that's there.
Is there anybody in the Evolve community that you like, or like there's that kid Tyler that's on the E channel?
He's a sweet guy. He's a nice kid.
He's such a sweet kid. Is there somebody that you like? This is my tribe. These are my people.
Actually, anybody that's on Evolve is pretty much my tribe and my people.
Okay.
I have an amazing group of like astrologers and numerologists, people that I actually go to for information personally.
Right.
And I want them on there to be available. So we've got, like in Australia, there's a numerologist. Her name is Anna Belcastro. There's an astrologer named Maggie Kerr, who's from Australia. But then we got folks from like right here in the New York area. We have Sam Reynolds, who's an amazing astrologer. So there's a lot of people that we use on Evolve, and they're colleagues and friends. And then like in my world, there's a gentleman by the name of Jonathan Lewis. There's Shar Margolis, who's on the West Coast. These are people that like Shar Margolis is the woman who predicted Kelly Ripa's pregnancy.
Really?
Yeah, live on television when she didn't tell anybody yet.
Oh, wow. I remember that moment. I remember that moment. I remember that. Oh, yeah.
I could have told you she was going to get pregnant eventually, just not at that particular time.
Listen, Tom Zwire just wrote, John, you turned my life around when you told me to appreciate and validate. We're emotionless crowds. My dad knew I loved him when he died because of that. Now I say I love you. My relationship with my son is based on that. I thank you for that.
That's awesome. That is awesome to hear. Thank you so much for sharing that. Like my ending of every event is to communicate, appreciate, validate the people in your life so that a medium like myself doesn't have to do it for you. And it actually comes from Joan Rivers. That's where that comes from.
Wow.
Yes. I went to see Joan Rivers at the Westbury Music Fair shortly after she lost her husband.
Right. I
have to say that it was brilliant. She was humorous. She was amazing. And then when she came out for her third kind of like bow, already up. And Westbury Music Fair is like the theater in the round.
Yeah.
The lights are up and people are making the mad dash for the parking lot. And she came back out with her little dog. I think it was Spike at the time.
Yeah.
And she stopped everybody, and everybody like turned to look to where she was. And everybody expected her to be funny, and she wasn't funny. She was poignant. She said, whether it's the people you're with right now or the people you're going home to, please let them know how much they mean to you. Sometimes you don't get that chance. I know I didn't. And it took 3,000 people in the room and just went, ooh.
Wow.
And it sat with me. And the next day when I went to work, I was working at a hospital. One of the women that I worked with said, "You okay?" She goes, "You seem a little off." And I said, "No, I'm not off. I'm pensive." And I shared with her why. And it just became this amazing moment of like, I needed to use this because it had such an impact on me that I needed to share it with everybody else. And I'm happy to hear that it was meaningful. That's cool.
John, listen, before we let you go, talk to me about deja vu, because I get that all the time. You're in a situation and all of a sudden you're like, holy crap, I've seen this before and I know what's coming next. Is that a real thing? Like, have I dreamt that years ago? What is deja vu?
So, two things. One, I think that there's a scientific, I don't know the answer to this, but I think there's a scientific version of this, which is, you walk into a place and your brain kind of like takes in all this stuff without you realizing that you've taken it in.
Right.
And when your conscious mind and your unconscious mind kind of meet up with the thing that you've already previously seen, you feel like, oh my God, I saw this before. Well, you did, maybe 5 seconds before, but now you're processing what you actually kind of took in. So it's like you downloaded something and now you're going back to read what you downloaded and now you can see that. But then what you said is actually pretty prescient. And that is that we can have a precognitive dream. So you could dream about something that's coming up. And then when it happens, you have that moment of, wait a minute, like,
yeah,
because you dreamt it.
That happens to me a lot, man. It really does.
Listen, I had the only time I had a dream that was so real. I connected with my grandmother who passed away. This was the night before I got married.
Oh.
And I was 25 years old. She had just passed 4 months prior. She was like my everything. And I guess I was very nervous about whether it was the right thing or am I embarking on what was this journey that really didn't end up being well anyway. And she was like floating up. And when I tell you, it was real. She was floating above me, telling me it's going to be all right. I'm still here. And then I'm a very touchy-feely kind of person. So I was like, no, I need you. I need to hold you just one last time. I need to hold you. I physically went up to reach her and grab her. And the lights went on. My fan started twirling. And I kid you not, I jumped out of bed. I ran into my parents' room. And I said, you'll never guess who came. I was so freaked out. I was like, I can't believe she was here. And then I was scared. And it took my mother like 3 cents to say, why would you be scared? It was your grandmother who came to you. But I'll never forget that moment because I really felt her energy. And then I started thinking about the whole electric aspect of light. And, I started reading into it. And I was like, this really did happen.
So was that the first time you tried shrooms or no? Was that a different?
No, that was the first time I tried marriage.
John, listen, man, thank you, my friend. Really,
you guys, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Keep up the good work. Real quick, any new TV shows in the works?
Not at the moment. Everything I'm doing is pretty much virtual.
All virtual. All right, my man.
It's evolved, right? It's evolved. It's the online community for you. All right, we love it.
John, one more time where people can reach you if they want to get a hold of you.
John Edward, no S, johnedward.net.
johnedward.net. John, thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you, John.
Thanks for positive.
Thanks for taking time out with us tonight. We appreciate it.
John Edwards, Sook. How about that?
That really happened to me. You think I'm crazy? I'll never forget it.
Sook, I try to lure him in. I try to lure him into a reading. He didn't fall for it. Did you notice?
No, he said his energy was completely shut down. He has to meditate. And I believe that because there are different kind of spirits that are out there, right? You don't want to bring in the negative.
Yeah. Sook, we're not done yet, Sook. We are not done yet with this show.
Where is the weatherman?
Weatherman's not on tonight. Weatherman took a few days off. I did not hear from the weatherman. But we do have, Will Presty, who does our quarantine confession.
Yes, Presty's Testies.
Presty's Testies. See, Will, I told you she was going to come right up with that. Will, did you know Will, not only is he a comedian, he's a former writer for Letterman.
What?
Yeah. So what I want to do.
Did I miss that kid?
We love this guy. Look at him. Look at how handsome. Look at the handsomeness
What's up,
on this
guys?
gentleman right here.
What's up, Will?
Gentleman.
I can't hear Scott.
Oh Jesus! Here we go again. Will, you gotta tell him to resign it.
Join back in because I think there might have been some crossover with John Edwards.
Yeah, no pun
Join
intended.
back in sounds
Yeah.
so simple.
Sign out and come back in.
Sign out and come back in.
All right, that's
Come back in. All right, Will's coming back in. I don't think he's completely signed out because they still. Oh, there he is.
There he is. Isn't that funny? It's like I can't hear Scott.
So I just want to tell some of our viewers that Scotty was egging John to go there and do readings, but he was his frequency was turned down, so that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, listen.
You know who we're going to have to bring back on? Brenda.
Yeah, we'll bring Brenda back on. Let's see. Here's Will again.
Mm-hmm.
Will, you got me this time, bud?
Unfortunately, I can hear you loud and clear, Scott.
That's the
Suki,
dulcet tone.
what was he saying about me before I came on? I just saw him talking. I don't know.
You know what? I actually told him that you buried the lead. I didn't know you were a writer for Letterman. I didn't know you were a writer.
Suki can't hear you now.
What's going on here?
Now you can hear me, but not her.
I like it better the other way.
Yeah. All right, listen. Sign out one more time.
Sign out one more time.
What's going to happen now? I'm going to hear nobody.
Yeah, now you'll get none of us. Poor Willie was so excited. Suki, he wanted to give us like his thoughts on the news of the weekend, the news of the day.
Oh, maybe he has. A lot of people love John. They said thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh yeah, I said, listen, make sure you mention Khloe Kardashian's new look. Hold on, is he back? Will, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? I check one.
Yay!
There you go.
I miss you guys.
Oh my
Nice.
God. Did you see how our show has grown and evolved into this amazing platform? Scotty has been the mastermind, just kind of every day, just creating magic.
What is that? What do you get?
I'm making the cookies, bro. Making the cookies.
I was going to do a reading for you guys, and then you preempt me with John Edward, and now I have no material. You guys are the hottest thing on Facebook right now.
Hottest thing on Facebook. We're looking for a guy. We're looking for a guy just like you, Will, to come up with some stuff to discuss the headlines of the week, the headlines of the day.
Well, I don't know. I feel like, are you guys taking it all in? Or, did you guys watch the match this weekend? The big golf match?
No, with Tom Brady and Tiger and
Tom Brady. It was the biggest thing. Record ratings. It was a charity golf event. The match. It was the highest watched golf program in the history of cable television. They raised $20 million for charity. It was Tom Brady and Phil Mickelson versus Tiger Woods and Peyton Manning.
And who won?
Really interesting. And Tiger and Peyton ended up winning. But they all, they played it at Tiger's home golf course. Mm-hmm. So he was very familiar with it. He said he had hundreds of rounds and dozens of models under his belt there. They said Phil Mickelson, come on, Suk. Phil Mickelson.
Dozens of models, Suk. You heard that or no?
I missed it. I missed it.
This is all I have, Suk. You're gonna have
Will, your mic's very low too, bud. Your mic's very low.
My mic is low?
Yeah.
Your mic is low.
How do I do that? How do I change that?
I don't know. Just stick your mouth next to the like Jay. Stick your mouth next to the thing.
Go to the side.
No way. I'm just gonna have to yell. Can you hear me okay now?
It's still kind of the same, but we'll get through.
It's fine.
Tom Brady was awful out there, is what everybody's talking about. This guy, he was hitting everything to the right. I said the Golden Boy looked more like the Tin Man out there, and nobody was giving him his oil can. He was slicing so bad at one point. John Bobbitt tweeted out, "Now that's a rough slice." I couldn't believe it. Bobbitt. I followed John Bobbitt on Twitter. So,
and you know what? Lifetime is doing a thing on Lorena Bobbitt. You know that, right?
I know, and they're trying to get sympathy for Lorena Bobbitt, and I'm going to have to watch and really see if I can have sympathy for this woman. But Peyton Manning really should have his own show because he was like the host out there. He's like Tom Hanks if his parents fed him like growth hormone instead of baby formula. When he was a kid.
He's a
Don't
big
you feel
boy.
like that. He's got the big forehead too. So Peyton Manning.
We'll talk about big foreheads.
He's got, Peyton Manning's like if he looks like the love child of a beluga whale and another beluga whale. You know, that's kind of what I feel.
A lot of people are talking about Brady's pants. What was that? Brady's pants?
He split his pants right
Yeah,
in half. He made
pants.
his first good golf shot the entire day. Splits his pants. He's not used to wearing them because Giselle wears the pants in the relationship.
Good one.
She's worth $400 million. That's crazy. But I got some new studies coming out for you guys. I don't know, Sue, did you ever color your hair?
I haven't. Yes. I've put rinses and glosses in my hair.
Glosses, because a hair color study came out saying that of the three main hair colors, brunettes are most likely to smoke cigarettes. Redheads are most likely to be resistant to anesthetics, and blondes are most likely still stuck on the word anesthetics. So that's what they came out with.
Good one.
There's a couple of, but seriously, some serious news. Did you guys hear Elon Musk?
Oh, yes, tomorrow. Yeah, it's going to happen. Cape Canaveral.
No, but the baby that he had. And the name
the name. Yeah.
Well, California State is making him change the name because it had numbers in it. This is serious, and you're not allowed to have a number in your name. So the 12 in the name now has to be, he changed it today to XII.
Oh.
For the baby's name now has XII in it. True story, but it's still pronounced kick my ass. That kid's gonna have a rough time.
How do you pronounce that kid's name, out of curiosity?
What was the original name?
The name is XAEA12, but now the 12 is XII. It's like a Star Wars character.
It's like you're a robot.
The Rock said that while he's quarantined, him and his wife are going to be practicing making babies. Right? Just what we need right now.
Who wouldn't want to practice with
right now? An earthquake. You guys like Bob Dylan?
Love Dylan.
Dylan just turned 79 years old.
Wow.
79. You can tell he's getting older because his newest single, his protest song, is called "Where the Hell's That Draft Coming From?" So that's it's happening. And Kim and Kanye just celebrated their sixth wedding anniversary. Yeah, or as they called it, we wrapped on season 6. So that's very romantic. Very romantic about what they're doing. You guys watch The Masked Singer?
A little bit, time to time.
They had I'd watch it. This is more not even jokes, just for real. I watched the show and everybody makes fun of me. They had the season finale. Everyone's like, oh, it's mindless television. But to me, like, I learned this year that I don't know what the word legend or icon mean, because everybody that was unmasked,
everybody, legendary
hip hop star Bow Wow, icon of the music industry Jesse McCartney. I don't know who these people are. I'm like, what?
Jesse
what
McCartney.
If they're legends, who are like Frank Sinatra, who's behind me, at Ella Fitzgerald? It's like, I don't know what's next. Music icon William Hung. Look it up, kids.
Who
at least they're wearing the masks, right?
Who won? Who won that? The Peacock one?
It was icon. It was music legend and icon Candy Burris.
Oh, the Candy Burris?
Oh, Candy from Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
I
said I didn't know who it was, and somebody
Candy,
called me racist.
yes.
I was like, I just don't know. I think, like, did you know Joe Biden's in hot water for saying if you don't know if you're voting for him, then you ain't black? You heard that, right? And so now he just issued an apology. I don't think he gets it. His apology, he's trying to be all really. He said, it's quote. He said, "My bad, yo." So I don't think he gets it. I think he's digging himself deeper. Today he called the White House. He called the White House the honky house. Like he's trying to too hard.
My bad, yo.
And I got one more thing for you guys. Just I want to ask you, because I asked people on Twitter, if they had to describe their sex life with a movie title, what would it be? Anything off the top of your head? I got some pretty good answers.
Mine would be Frozen 2.
I was going to say mine's Fast and Furious.
You know, someone said Fast and Furious.
That's a lie, Suki. That's an outright lie.
Someone's getting pregnant up in here. Someone's getting pregnant up in here.
You ever see the movie Liar, Liar, Suki? That's what I'm talking about.
Now, Scott, I have to know, is it Frozen because there's not a lot going on, or because you're into like ice cubes and stuff like that?
Oh, no. Yeah, no. My wife likes it cold. Because she's constantly saying, let it go.
I got Fast and Furious. I got, this is for the ladies out there. Someone said Toy Story.
Nice.
Fistful of Dollars.
Oh, Fistful of Dollars.
Gone in 60 Seconds. And of course, The Hand. So that's what's going
Yeah,
on.
baby.
That's a little bit of what's going on in pop culture, in the news. I'm happy to see you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Will, we're very
Ladies and gentlemen, the legendary
guys.
Will Presti, legendary.
Thank you so much. You watch my quarantine confessions videos. I'm appreciative. It's all good.
Quarantining with, by the way. I kept seeing a girl. I thought you were like a
That's
single
a woman.
It's a lady friend of a few years. Yeah. It's really great.
Wait, let's dig deeper, Will Preston.
Yeah, let's get his ass on the line.
You've been dating her for how many years?
A couple.
Oh, her parents must be all over
and
you.
Her
bro.
parents are, and she must be like, let's do this, Will Presti, after COVID.
Hey, well, here's the thing. Now, the truth is, we just met on Tinder the night before the lockdown, and we got stuck together.
Yeah, right.
That's what's been happening here. So I said I feel bad for people that were about to break up.
Right now, they're stuck together.
And now you're completely stuck. I mean, talk about frozen. That's, you know.
Well,
Let it go.
You have some people who are like divorced, who are like, were ready to like move on with their lives, but they couldn't, and now they're like living in the same house.
All I know is I'm so jealous of you because I'm here in a Midtown apartment, and you guys, you have.
How bad has that been living in Manhattan right now? It's pretty bad, right?
I go for walks and I go down to, I'm not too far from the water and some other stuff, but it's people that are out, at least for a while. The only people that were out were shady characters. And so I felt like Pac-Man, where my route was dictated by who was ahead of me in the street, you know? So I'm like, I'm going to head up 9th Avenue. And then
yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to go down this way.
Yeah. You know what? The city gets to be a lonely place when it's not feeling good.
The only people that were out for a while were drug dealers. And I told the cops, since they were the only ones out, it was like, where's Waldo if you got rid of everybody but Waldo? I was like, just go out there with one of those big vaudeville hooks and just bring them all in.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Let me ask you a question. Since you've lived through COVID in Manhattan, would you think about moving with your lady friend out of Manhattan when this is done?
Why?
I mean, I got to imagine the walls must be closing in.
I've always wanted, I'm from Long Island. I would like to move back to Long Island at some point.
Yeah.
But I'm here in Manhattan to be closer to you two.
Yeah. Well, listen, wouldn't you and your lady friend love to have a basement full of toys like I do?
We do. We do have a basement full of toys, but that's for another episode.
That's actually the right drawer in his nightstand.
It's the Fury, baby.
No one knows the three of us are actually quarantining in the same house.
The same house.
We're like the Brady Bunch. It's like we're looking up.
That's why I'm always in the basement. Suki never lets me up in the friggin' kitchen.
I'm like, you stay down there.
Will, thank you, buddy. We love
Thanks,
you, pal.
guys. I'll see you again soon.
Maybe we'll see your lady friend sometime.
Yeah, bring her in next time.
Bring her in next time. I'd like to ask her what the hell's going on.
Yeah, you and me both. I got to exit out of here. Is that what the deal is?
Made him nervous here, Scotty. He's like, I got to exit. I got to leave now. Yes, leave.
Get out of here, kid. You bother me. So funny, Sook. Well, listen, we got a great show tomorrow night. Drew McIntyre, WWE champ. We got an amazing magician on tomorrow night, Sook. Going to be a fun show. Good night tonight. Are you wearing like a yellowy, what do you got on your eyes there?
I put gold on today because I wanted to look halfway decent, but
Wow,
you know,
that's
I didn't finish the rest of it because I had to be dinner. I was like, I don't know about you, but where did the day go today? Like it just kind of like went past me, and then
they're all going fast.
They're all going fast. They're all going fast.
So before we go, let me just finish out the I don't like to leave any bullets in the chamber here, so to speak. That's what she said. But couple signs for you. Ready? Before we go out, me and my kids' daily Zoom meeting, trying to learn second grade math.
So me. That is so me. She can tell you that.
Funny. Wait, let me go
That
back.
is so mean.
Here we go. Let's see what this one is. For $1,200, we'll come to your house dressed as COVID-19 rescue team and take you from your wife for a 14-day fishing trip.
My husband would love that. That's awesome.
That will be a divorce if we had a
Let's see. How about this? Customer notice. Sorry, we're currently out of stock of unlimited magazines.
That makes
That's
sense.
And we got how to fold a fitted bed sheet, Sue.
I can't do that. We need to have like a tutorial on. I've actually Googled that. How do I fold a fitted bed sheet? I can't do it.
That's why it ends up in the can with the flames.
Did you ever just like put it together like this and just shove it away? Scotty, where are you? Where'd you go? Scotty?
Hello.
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 All right, Scotty, come back.
I'm here.
Oh, Scotty, where'd you go? Hello.
I hit the wrong button, for God's sakes.
All
I
right.
got one more to show you.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody moves. All right, you know what? I'll end up hitting the wrong thing again. We'll save it for tomorrow. Hi, Shy. Listen, your birthday coming up soon.
It's on Sunday. This
Sunday coming up.
Sunday.
Sunday is Prince Spaghetti Day.
I'm going to have to talk to Lara about what she did the night before. She must have been up late. I saw the decorations. She must have been like,
oh, yeah, we were up. We were up late that night.
I love wearing this robe. It's like my favorite.
Yeah.
My own.
So, should we do it again tomorrow night?
Bye.
yes.
Bye,
Bye. Yeah. That
all
sounds
right,
good.
everybody.
I'll see you tomorrow.
We got, Tony Orlando on Thursday, along with Darren.
Tie a yellow ribbon round the old oak
tree. It's been 3 long years. Do you still want me? If I don't see a ribbon round the old oak tree. What are you going to do, Sue? Get on the bus. Forget about us.
Yes.
Put the blame on me. And you know what the amazing thing was? The guy's on the bus. He's coming home. And what does he see? 100 yellow ribbons
Around the old oak tree.
All right, it's over, Johnny.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
See you guys tomorrow night. We love